Hi Aquarius, welcome to your November 2019 love reading. It's Rena here. Yes, I've been taking my sweet time getting to my love readings when the month has already started. If you see my new crystal family member, this is I took it off my little cage, which is the where you keep the crystal cage. I have like a necklace. This is a Lemurian crystal, which is perfect for me. And so I'm just, putting it on the table there, but I've been wearing it a lot. And so let's see what we got here. This reading is for people who are in relationships that are not what they want them to be. This is not for people who have like awesome relationships. Kind of pointless to watch forecasts when everything is going great in your life. I know that there are, the general forecasts. You're just kind of like saying, okay, what are the energies surrounding the situation? But specifically for love readings, at least my love readings, they're intended for single people or people who are in problematic relationships. Speaking of which, oh, I hope I can get through this reading. I've been getting that hermit card left and right. There's like the typical spawn of Satan leaf blowers outside, so that's the only problem. Okay, so hopefully I can hear the hum, but I just don't want it to distract me, and I don't want you to hear it either. The heart of the matter is the Five of Pentacles, and this is a card of lack consciousness. So for Aquarians who are single, you may feel, due to your age, due to past relationships that haven't quite worked out, that, there's no hope for you, that, there's nobody good out there. All the, what's that saying? All the good ones are taken and things like that. Well, what you say is your prayer. If you believe that, then it's true for you. I can't argue with you about that. But the point is that there has to be a sense of seeing the possible in every situation. This is true for anything in life, not just love, where even if everything seems to point to the opposite, that you have to say, I don't care what people are what it looks like. I know that I'm deserving of love, and I'm not going to just pick the first person who comes down the pike. Especially, I was thinking to myself, well, I don't think that Aquarians are a particularly negative thinking sign. But if you have Mercury in either Capricorn or Pisces, this could be quite different. I don't even know if you could have, you could probably have it in either one of those signs. You have to be careful because you may be quite pessimistic in your thinking, and as a man thinketh, so he becomes. So just keep that in mind, that there's enough to go around. I don't care if you're 70 years old, and who knows, maybe you'll become a cougar. Is a woman a cougar if she's 70 and a man is 50? Is that really being a cougar? In the past position, we have the Ace of Swords. This is a card of seeing things as they really are. You are a Swords, being an air sign, and this could even be like a relationship with a fellow air sign too, which would be a great match for you. So another Aquarius, which is good because you both have very interesting ways of looking at life, and maybe only a fellow Aquarian could fully get you, but the other air signs are Gemini and Libra, and you don't like a lot of scenes, emotional excess, and even though fire energy is very compatible with you as well, they may be too emotional for you at times or too drama filled. So an air sign might be, you know, the ticket. But with the Five of Pentacles, you may still be afraid, and you're putting out bad vibes because you're just it's like even though you have this potential for a new relationship working out, you're still kind of maybe stuck in the past. With the Five of Pentacles, though, it's limited thinking, and that's something that you eradicate first by understanding that you're doing it, and then by embracing the law of attraction in other areas of your life, where you can see how there is enough to go around. Excuse me. And, you know, there are different practices that you can do to get there. I'm not going to get into that, but definitely something that you may have to do an attitude adjustment. The higher message is the Hermit, and this is a card of self-reflection, seeking inner wisdom, and this is the spiritual message. So putting this in a spiritual perspective, what are relationships for? It's kind of like what I say, what is astrology for? What is the tarot for? If you are somebody who is disempowered, you use these things as escape mechanisms, as, you know, you use relationships as an excuse to blame other people for your problems, or to, you know, escape facing your own issues that you need to like really deal with. And astrology can be used that way. The tarot can be used in a way that is not about self-empowerment. Also, with the Hermit, I always think of life as being meaningful. And that means that we are looking at love as a miracle. Sometimes people take relationships for granted because, excuse me, because people take relationships for granted sometimes because they're just on automatic. They're living their lives like robots. They're kind of just going through the motions. And the Hermit card to me, oh, you know, well, the Hermit card, you know what the Hermit card to me is also about being alone. And maybe some of you Aquarians have been too social, too involved with other people, that, you know, or jumping from one relationship to the next. What crosses you is the Three of Cups. This can be, you know, looking at your circle of friends. It's funny because Aquarius rules the 11th house, which has to do with friendships and groups. And while friendships, you know, they always say, this is kind of almost like a cliche, that you need a support network. You know, you need, or is that what they call it? A support system. You need a support system in life. But you know what? Some people have friends that they have not grown spiritually alongside with, and who are anything but helps, you know, assistance in their lives. They're more like something that drags them down. So it's not just a question of having people around you. This is kind of what I'd say about relationships. It's not about having a warm body next to you. It's about, what do these people bring to your life in terms of, you know, what kind of influence? If you're around people that are very unevolved, that don't want to grow, that are, you know, like very materialistic, into like appearances and competitive, then you're going to be, even if you as an Aquarian are very like independent minded and a nonconformist, you still will probably be influenced by that at a subtle level. And besides, you're not resonating with them, so why are you around them? And so it's about being very aware of your surroundings regarding like a person or I mean, I'm saying like people that are around you. But you know what? I just got distracted because I just failed to mention something very obvious. If you're currently in a relationship with somebody, the Ace of Swords could be you now see them as they are. You know the truth of the situation. And again, I would say, especially with Mercury and Pisces, if you're a sun in Aquarius, you may have that part of yourself that lies to yourself, or that distorts what you see. Where you see something, you're staring right at it and you think it's something else because you've been trained. That's usually trauma from childhood, seeing a parent passed out on the floor and being told, no, you didn't see this. This isn't happening. What, are you crazy? And questioning your perceptions. So now you are taking seriously your perceptions. And you know that somebody is doing something underhanded. Usually it's cheating in relationships or, chronic lying. But because you have the Five of Pentacles, you may say, this is, you know what, I'm going to stick with this. This is the best I can do. Not thinking, hey, I don't have to be alone. I mean, I don't have to be with somebody. I can be alone. You know what I'm saying? So the point is that it's all about how you feel about a situation. The Three of, and then if this is a relationship situation, the Hermit card is talking about maybe separating, maybe saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to this retreat center or whatever it is. And it gives you that space so that you can get your head together and you can kind of like ease out of a relationship with somebody, or at least to see things more clearly without that person being right there kind of trying to manipulate you. With the Three of Cups in reverse in that scenario, that could be that that person has a drinking problem and they have their drinking problem may contribute to infidelity. I see the Three of Cups sometimes as a womanizer who goes out and has, these one-night stands or these sexual encounters, when they're intoxicated. Maybe, they have two different personalities. In some cases, you may be weakened by your own addictive issues, and that is preventing you from being able to take action to the next level of, because you feel vulnerable, you feel dependent. So definitely whenever I am talking about improving one's life, I think serious addictions have to be the first thing that are addressed. I was reading somewhere that when people go into therapy, the therapist oftentimes does not ask them, do you have a drinking problem? Do you smoke weed all the time? What are your habits that connect with compulsive behaviors? Because those things will like totally cloud somebody's judgment, but they can also just dominate the person's time and energy. So, and including when I say energy, I'm even talking about money, where people are spending a lot of money on these habits that are not only bad for them, but they are, if they're trying to move out, they're going to have a hard time because they've got all these, they're wasting money on these addictions. So all of that is definitely going to be, has to be looked at. You can't just, looking at life on a simplistic level is going to, that leads to a lot of disillusionment because people feel like, they have expectations that something was going to work out, and then when it doesn't, they feel let down. Well, it was never going to work out because, they were expecting too much too soon from, I think we live in this fast food culture that everything is supposed to happen. I mean, even a tarot reading. Oh, you talk too much, just cut to the chase. Just tell me what's going to happen to me so I can move on with my life. What's coming in is the Empress. This is a card of abundance and love. And, so for Aquarius, this can be Libra. Maybe that is, if you're single and you're sweet on a Libra, maybe that person is going to stick around. This card is connected also to Taurus. And I would even say, especially since Taurus rules the second house of earned income, but also the house of self-esteem, that it's self-love. So, on the heels of the Hermit, this idea of looking within yourself and saying to yourself, how do I value myself? What am I worth? What is my worth in this world? Unfortunately, some people think that their worth is in their body, that they have to give up their body for love. Of course, to even say body and love in the same sentence is, it's cognitive dissonance. It doesn't fit. Or money, that they have to, they get used for money, because a lot of times people who get used for money are the ones offering the money. So they attract takers. So this is where it all comes back to you every single time. How are you going to, do your next relationship? Is it going to be, it's funny. I started out with the Five of Pentacles. That's a feeling of lack consciousness. Pentacles are the earth element. So typically the Five of Pentacles is analyzed or, interpreted as somebody's out of work, somebody doesn't have enough money, yada yada. Well, we're doing a love reading. So how do we translate that into love? Lack of self-love, feeling like you are poor, like you have lack in the area of valuing the self. And when you don't value yourself, what comes after that? What kind of desperate choices do people make? The outcome: Queen of Wands, confidence, the sunflower representing, obviously positivity, but to me also the self, because the sun is the self. This card connects to Sagittarius. Perhaps, in November, we do have a new moon in Sagittarius. For Libra, this is a friendly angle. This is your third house. But how this relates to your life is being able to hold your head up high. Ace of Swords, you may have found out that your partner was cheating. What does that do to somebody? Even if you suspected it, it lowers the self-esteem. And it makes a person feel like they're not good enough. But you are good enough, and you will discover this, and you will attract good things to you because you have a sense of pride, a sense of yourself as being worthy of love. That will attract you to love. It's so funny because I'm saying, okay, I'm sure there are people saying, okay, well, what's the deal? Do I, get the girl, or do I get the guy or not? Well, it all comes down to you. You may have an air sign like Libra interested. Are you going to push this person away with your own insecurities, or are you going to accept love in your life? That's the question. I think you're going to accept love, Aquarius. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, please click on the link below. My website is rainaMoonAstrology.com. Take care. Bye.